is in panic. There is a definite division of the world order between those who believe that Israel has the right to retaliate for the killing of its people, for the murder of its babies, for the rapes on Israeli women, and for the abduction of children and the elderly. And on the other side, the wokes. Everything you ask them, they say, look at the root cause. So-called liberals become the strongest support base for terrorists. Rape is not resistance, and murder has no morality. If you agree with me, take a stance. Say openly, but say with pride and say with aggression. Tell these wokes, rape is not resistance and murder has no morality.
The public is reporting from Israel, Be'eri Kibbutz, where more than 120 people were killed, where the Hamas terrorist was the first location where Hamas terrorist has entered in the entire area that was taken up by the Hamas terrorists. But now it is been controlled by the IDF. As we have been speaking, we can also hear the explosion that is happening, but this is in retaliation by the Israel. It's an IDF location. So as you see on your screen, there are continuously artillery that is being fired, where the Hamas terrorists are still hiding. We are just 1 kilometer away from the Gaza city. We have been hearing continuously an explosion. It was a missile from the airstrike from the south. We have been seeing right now rockets that was fired from Hamas has been intercepted by Israeli forces.
What we hear now.
So there is an alert. There is an alert which has been given by. As you can hear, there are explosion which is been underway, and we have been reporting from Kibbutz Be'eri. As we can see, the confidence about the Israeli forces has it, and they are on their way. We are just walking with the tanks of Israel that is moving towards Gaza. Public is reporting from Israel, Be'eri kibbutz, where more than 120 people were killed, where the Hamas terrorist was the first location where Hamas terrorist has entered in the entire area that was taken up by the Hamas terrorists. But now it is under being controlled by the IDF. As we have been speaking, we can also hear the explosion that is happening, but this is in retaliation by the Israel. It's an IDF location. So as you see on your screen, there are continuously artillery that is being fired where the Hamas terrorists are still hiding.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University. In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
Cash-strapped Pakistan tries to spearhead Hamas campaign. Desperate Pakistan seeks Muslim world attention now. Does Pakistan want to lead Muslim world? Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
Right now we are in the Sedroit area, which is 3 kilometers from the border of Gaza. Cops have been deployed here. This was one of the worst hit areas of the Sedroit, as here the terrorists not only barged but attacked one of the biggest police station that is here in the border area. This was first attacked, taken hostage by the terrorists of Hamas. This is one of the deadliest attack, and we are continuing to show you that how the Hamas terrorists unleashed terror on the civilians of Israel.
From the Delhi studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
Arnab Goswami on The Debate at 9. Presented by Amity University. Powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group. Acco Health Insurance. Century Laminates and PolicyBazaar.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, I begin with what appears to be breaking news coming in, that there is a statement which is being ascribed to Mr. Darshan Hiranandani, who is from the Hiranandani group. As you know, there has been a controversy over the last few days regarding the statements and the questions being asked by very controversial Trinamool Congress Lok Sabha MP Mahua Moitra, and the charge against her is that she was being fed questions by Darshan Hiranandani of the Hiranandani group, and these questions were aimed at both promoting the business interests of the Hiranandani group, which is a Mumbai-based group, as well as aimed at attacking the Adani group. All of this has been denied by Mahua Moitra so far, who faces a very serious ethics committee investigation. However, this latest, what appears to be coming in information that Darshan Hiranandani has effectively turned approver in this case, in a way, which is anyway going to be investigated, and has put out a statement acknowledging the fact that the login details of Mahua Moitra's parliamentary login was provided to him by Mahua Moitra, and that there was effective relationship of mutual convenience between the two of them, and that she was most importantly, and this is what I quote, unverified yet but very much going out here. We are going to try and find out more about this, that apparently it says that she shared with me her email ID as a member of parliament so that I could send her information and she could raise the questions in parliament, and I went along with her proposal. Ladies and gentlemen, if this is true, ladies and gentlemen, then it is really shocking, and it is a confirmation of the cash for query scandal. It also claims that Mahua Moitra was getting help from certain people and some business journalists who were feeding her all kinds of unverified information relating to Mr. Gautam Adani and his companies, and that Mahua Moitra requested me, that is Darshan Hiranandani, to keep supporting her in her attacks on the Adani Group, and provided me with a parliament login and password so that I could post the questions directly on her behalf as and when requested. Now, viewers, what are the fundamental issues which emerge here? There's a very tell-all letter. I'm getting confirmation on it. We got it through some CBI sources. We got it through some other sources as well. But this is basically a cash for question scam where a member of parliament who's been sort of at the forefront of attacking Prime Minister Modi, at the forefront of targeting the Adani Group, now gets completely exposed for being a person who was doing so on behalf of a corporate group. And not just that, apparently the letter also says a lot more. I'm joined by Shravan Sen right now. I'm joined by Shravan Sen, ladies and gentlemen, our senior editor, and I'll be joined in some time by a senior executive editor on this breaking news story of the moment, which is the cash for query scandal, and Abhishek Kapoor will be joining us. Shravan, good evening. This is really alarming. Now, we don't have an official confirmation of this, but we got the statement with us. What can you tell us about it right now, Shravan? If this is true, then she should resign or rather be sacked as member of parliament. Shravan, I can't hear you. Shravan, we're getting the audio track with him. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're joining us on this breaking news story, a very explosive statement has come our way. It's from Darshan Hiranandani. He's 44-year-old man who is the son of Niranjan Hiranandani, very well-known construction magnate based in Mumbai. And he is accused of feeding information to Mahua Moitra, very, very controversial member of parliament, who's been at the forefront of attacking the Adani Group. And now it appears that this is all contrived, that she was doing so to defend the corporate interests of Darshan Hiranandani. And he's effectively saying so in this statement, which is going viral right now. Shravan, what more can you tell us? Can you hear me now? There's a big story that we're getting here. It's corporate lobbying at another level, financial crimes, corporate lobbying, interest groups, asking for gifts, asking for favors, and essentially, completely, I would say, disregarding any basic ethics as a parliamentarian. But it also tells you a lot more about the political angle to the attack on the Adani Group. So this is incredible. I haven't got a statement from the Adani Group yet, but when I, through some sources, we contacted the Adani Group, and they said they're watching this extremely closely, and if so, it really reveals the whole modus operandi so far. This could be one of the biggest stories of the year, ladies and gentlemen, if true, and we are still verifying it, we are confirming it. We have Abhishek Kapoor joining us. Abhishek, do walk into the studio. You're right here. I can see you there, Abhishek. Please come in. This particular statement that is apparently come about Darshan Hiranandani, what are you hearing about it, Abhishek? Please come forward so you can be in the camera and then tell our viewers about it. What are you hearing about this?
All right,
Abhishek?
So I trust my sources.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I got this. I got this, and this was just about half an hour back.
Okay, what does it say?
And it says that Darshan Hiranandani, it's signed by him, by the way.
Okay, but we can't verify a signature here at this point.
Yeah, but I trust my sources.
Yeah, sure.
So that's why I'm saying confident that this is by him.
Yeah.
And so basically he says that he was tracking these developments and then realized that he has to come out with some facts. And he says that yes, he has known Mahua Moitra from the time that he met her in 2017 during the Bengal Global Business Summit. Yeah. So obviously it was a Government of Bengal event. Yeah. And since then they were in touch. Yeah. She was very demanding, domineering. Yeah. And that she would want everything done yesterday. Yeah. And then she wanted to target the Prime Minister, and she thought that the easiest way of doing that would be to target the business group, which we named the Adani Group. And then she sort of took his help because he understands business. He's from a infrastructure company, and then he would be helping her framing those questions, and she provided him the login. That's the charge which was made by the lawyer Hiranandani.
So there's a propriety angle to this. There's also the technical angle to this, that she shared the parliamentary email ID as a member of parliament, so that a corporate group could be sending her the information, and she could, on behalf of the corporate group, raise the questions in parliament. And this is a proposal that she put through. This is apparently a proposal that she put through to him, and he accepted it.
Yes, so fine-tune information.
But then the fault is on both sides. But probably, if this is true, then Darshan Hiranandani realizes that it's become very serious, and it's better to come out with the facts.
And he perhaps realized the scale of the criminal element in this. And then he had to, come clean on this. That this is how it happened. He did whatever he did. So I think the escape clause, insofar as this letter is concerned, Arnab, is that he says that he did it because Mahua asked him to do it.
Why would Darshan Hiranandani give this kind of a tell-all statement? We're still verifying it, of course, for its complete. But why would he come out and make a statement like this? I mean, what is in it for him?
I think because the seriousness of the crime is such that he can go to jail if he does not do that. So he has to become an approver. And the escape window, as I said, or no, as I see it, it's not a legal view, it's just my understanding, basic understanding. The escape view is that he is saying that he did whatever he did because Mahua asked him to do it.
And he says that since this matter involves me directly and has snowballed into a political controversy with the Parliamentary Privilege Committee and the judiciary also seized of the matter, I consider it incumbent upon me to state the facts in public interest through this sworn affidavit. So he's protecting himself.
He's protecting himself.
But will he be protected in this? Because he's also part of the breach.
Then it depends whether the information that he's providing helps the investigation agency zero down on Mahua as the person who started all this. In that case, perhaps yes.
So, but he was also, if this is true, then he's also part of the plot.
He's part of the plot, but then, as I said, the escape window for him is that he did whatever he did only because Mahua
asked him. At
her behest.
So he's trying to claim that he was gullible and Mahua Moitra sort of conned him into it.
She was domineering.
But he also says that she made favors. She asked for demands, and the favors included expensive luxury items, providing support on renovation of her officially allotted bungalow in Delhi, travel expenses, holidays, apart from providing secretarial and logistical help for her travels within India and to different parts of the world. I could ill afford to displease her. Many a time I felt she was taking undue advantage of me and pressurizing me to do things I didn't want to, but I had no choice.
So in a way, a bit of dirty linen in public because the personal equations involved, as in the case of Hiranandani, the lawyer. So in this case, obviously certain things have been done out of friendship.
But she's completely exposed then, if this is the case. I mean, she's completely exposed. She has no standing. I mean, she's just part of a terrible crime.
As a public figure, you're not supposed to do this.
No, not supposed to do this. If you've done it, then you've completely exposed yourself. And you've done the most unacceptable thing.
Yes.
You have sold out as a member of parliament. You've been a corporate lobbyist, and you've effectively been on payrolls.
Yes.
And you've tried to carry a political corporate campaign.
Yes.
And most importantly, sections of the Lutyens media have celebrated you for this.
Yes.
But this is surely very embarrassing for all the people who are trying to prop her up as some kind of a mascot for the truth.
This was pawning public morality for your personal.
Do we have Shawan also with us, and any more leads on the story, if possible, from our desk? Shawan is also joining us. Shawan, what do you make of it? Shawan, what are you hearing from your sources?
Well, in fact, as far as the Central Bureau of Investigation is concerned, Arnab, this is the most crucial part. The very fact that her login details were already shared, this has a national security ramification. That is exactly why stepping in of the Central Bureau of Investigation cannot be ruled out at this point in time. That's exactly what was being examined, because remember that letter that has been written by the lawyer has also been shared with the Central Bureau of Investigation, and this would also call in for certain sections which would be invoked by the CBI, including a criminal conspiracy. These are part of it. At least prima facie, it does appear that these, from what has come across from this alleged letter from of Darshan Hiranandani, is the very fact that her login details of that, which she says was largely being used by interns, personal assistants, it turns out that he also had access to it. Questions were directly posted by the industrialist using the parliamentarians' login details. That certainly attracts certain sections of the IPC and the CRPC.
But she was taking money, and she was the charges, which is part verified through this letter, is that she was on the take. She was taking favors, money, expensive items, in turn from this corporate figure.
Well, in fact, point number 14 of this alleged letter makes it abundantly clear that not only both of them had a relationship which over a period of time they had had multiple meetings, but he also makes a specific point that there were gifts that were being demanded by the parliamentarian, which he had to fulfill because of the relationship that they had. And remember, here they're making a point that some of these questions were in particular about the Adani group. And she says that these questions were largely appreciated by her colleagues within the parliament, opposition leaders. And let's not forget that this is a group direct in fight.
Go on.
Yeah.
Shravan, one basic, for the benefit of viewers, we want to understand how does one become an approver in this case? Like, it's almost like mea culpa, right?
Yes, mea culpa.
He's admitting that he is part of the crime.
No, I think what's happening here is that he's saving himself. If this is true, he's saving himself. He knows that, you know, he's into it.
Yeah.
But he's a corporate figure. Yeah. She can try to do this daredevilry of denying it. He can't, because he knows that if there is a National Informatics Council actually does a deep dive on where the questions were coming from, then it'll expose that Mahua Moitra was being fed questions by him. I mean, it's pretty easy. We have the technology to find that out. So it's not really... I mean,
he's saying I did it because of her.
I'm sure he's taken advice on something as big as this. I mean, I'm told he's a permanent resident of Dubai. I don't know about that. But regardless of that, he knows that he's got a corporation to run, and I'm sure he's getting advice from his dad as well. I mean, that's my only... guess at this point of time, that he's got to sort of cut his losses and try to move on and let Mahua handle what she's surely responsible for. Yes, Shravan, yeah. Shravan.
But just one quick point, Arnab, is that the login details which was shared with the industrialist, and if it was actually utilized outside India, that also becomes a huge concern of national security, something that the Union Minister had already pointed out when this letter was actually shared. And the Central Bureau of Investigation, I've spoken to some of my sources, whether at all the FIR is going to be registered anytime soon or not, that we are still waiting for a confirmation to come in. But there is already a preliminary inquiry that is being carried out. So once that is completed, there is a high possibility of an FIR to be registered too.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it must be registered. It's more than that. But it also says Ms. Mahua Moitra was very ambitious and wanted to make a name for herself at the national level. She was advised by her friends and advisors. The shortest possible route to fame is by personally attacking Sri Narendra Modi, the Honorable Prime Minister of India. The only problem was that Sri Modi enjoyed an impeccable reputation and was not giving any opportunity to anyone to attack him in policy, governance or conduct. As was her wont, she thought the only way to attack Sri Narendra Modi is by attacking Sri Gautam Adani and his group, as both were contemporaries. And so it talks about the whole conspiracy that she's charted out here, the money she received for it, the cash, the expensive luxury items, the fact that she used a corporate group to feed her the information. She worked for them, she took favors, she was on their take, on their rolls literally, while everybody thought that she was some kind of truth crusader. You were saying that this is becoming bigger. You had another big of breaking news.
This information coming from Aishwarya. He's an ex-graduate of politics, very cued in.
Yeah.
He's saying that, in fact, the Lok Sabha Speaker's office has received a complaint on him, and this is big. The ethics committee, and it has been forwarded to the ethics committee, which says that not just one, there are 8 members of parliament who had given their logins to people who were accessing parliament login from outside of India, outside India's geographical boundary.
Well, that's huge. That's huge. Let's get Aishwarya also lined up with that breaking news story, because this is becoming a huge legislative and parliamentary scam. It was not the only security breach out here. There were 8 others who were doing it. Now, we must get a response at any point of time, as soon as possible, from Darshan Hiranandani. In fact, I got his number, and I'm going to send him a WhatsApp message right now. And I think it is best if he responds to this. Okay, we got his number. To get your version is what I'm sending him on this letter. Okay. Oh, he's responded. He said no comment. Darshan says no comment. Darshan, I'm quoting you on this as no comment. Okay, I got the first response, but I feel you need to speak. Okay, so Darshan says, I'm not commenting. Darshan, this is not proper of you. But he's not denying it.
He's not denying it. He's not denying
I
it. That's
assume
big.
you're not denying. All right, so I've told him I assume you're not denying. Let me see what he says. But this is big. The first contact from Darshan Hiranandani. And ladies and gentlemen, here it is on my screen. I'm not putting the number up.
Not denying
you can
his
see
admission.
it.
Not denying his admission.
You can read the entire conversation out here. You can read it for all our viewers. But I can tell you this, there has to be a comment, a more detailed comment, a corporate group. And I've been saying this the other day, Shawan. The problem with corporate groups is they think they can get away with it. He's read the messages, they are blue, but I'm saying this, that corporate groups should not believe that they can be supercilious about things like this, and they cannot. Thank you, no comment. Another response, second response from me. All right, Darshan, thank you, but no comment, says Darshan Hiranandani.
But that's accepting that
he's not denying
it. He's not denying.
He's not denying it, and that's very, very important. The first response from Darshan Hiranandani to Republic. I'm not denying it. I mean, effectively, he says I'm not denying it. So this letter is out here, and I think this is the end of. It should be the end of Mahua Moitra's political career. And Mahua Moitra should be sacked if this is the case by Mamata Banerjee, both from the party and as an acknowledgement of the continuous exposés that have been done here on Republic. So, ladies and gentlemen, Darshan Hiranandani to Republic, no comment. Second response, thank you, no comment. But he knows that he's in a bit of a soup and he's trying to get himself out of it. I made this point earlier, and I think, Savio, the point should be well made by all of us, that corporate groups in India should not think they're so big, they're beyond scrutiny. I mean, I thought, and I said the other day, I mean, how can the Hiranandani group be so superficial in its initial response by trying to say, I'm shocked, in fact. And I would say this, I've known Niranjan Hiranandani personally, and I'm shocked. I'm personally shocked and appalled at the lie that the group put out the first time. They tried to lie their way out of it. If this is true, they said, we are in the business of business and not in the business of politics. And that's the problem, Savio. These corporate groups get some advice of two or three lawyers. They think they can swim their way out of this kind of a situation, but they don't understand that when you commit a crime like this, you always leave your fingerprints.
For 40 years,
and I think this is what we are seeing here. Is something tremendous here, where the very ethics of public life have been turned on their head. This is the biggest corporate political scam since the Radia tapes.
Yes.
The biggest scam. Yes. Savio, your thoughts as this is breaking?
Arnab, I think I'm absolutely shocked, Arnab, that you have a member of parliament who's allowing a corporate entity's representative to access emails. They cannot be a greater violation of national security. And now I'm getting to hear from your channel that there are probably 8 members of parliament that have allowed people to access their emails, not only from India but outside of India. It's preposterous if you really go to see. Darshan Hiranandani's letter means nothing except admitting the fact that he colluded with the member of parliament, Mahua Moitra, to actually try and ensure that Gautam Adani's company, Adani, actually gets into questionable mind frame in the minds of the people of India. And this is being done. Now him coming out and admitting it.
It is the government which is putting a pressure on Hiranandani. I think he's being blackmailed.
The point is he's accepting that there is a violation committed.
Hashtag Mahua Moitra scandal.
Darshan Hiranandani is accepting that he has accepted it, and that's the most important part.
Absolutely.
He colluded with Mahua Moitra.
It's not government pressure, for God's sake.
It's a member of parliament accused by a corporate group of taking money, luxury items and gifts in return for corporate lobbying. This is the dirtiest thing that has hit Indian politics in decades. Mahua Moitra, if this is true, should resign at this minute from parliament and be sacked by Mamata Banerjee.
She has lost all moral.
Where is she, by the way, if this is true?
Mahua Moitra must be sacked.
Group doing?
It's a huge scandal.
She must be sacked immediately.
What was he doing?
It's a violation.
Why was he giving the gifts?
It's a violation of the parliamentary norms.
Take the favors. And why should we believe this man today? Just because he's being pressurized by the Modi government to make statements against a sitting member of parliament.
Because
this is crazy.
This
is crazy. You're saying that the person.
She gave him access.
You're saying that the person who has been quote unquote, I think, bribing Mahua Moitra is saying I was bribing her.
Yeah. So why is he saying that
you bribe a member of parliament, you get access to the parliamentary login. You do this to target Narendra Modi. You use the Adani route. It's all exposed. It's all exposed.
To become an approver. That is what is the truth.
I can't believe this, ladies and gentlemen. Just listen to this. Listen to this incredible tell-all. Shaman also on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
With which she would attack.
No. And it says, over a period that my friendship with Mahua Moitra grew, I also felt through her I would get support in other states ruled by the opposition. Oh, because she bonded extremely well with other leaders of the opposition like Shri Gandhi, Shri Shashi Tharoor, my God, and Mr. Pinaki Mishra, with whom she shared close relations. Importantly, she kept frequent demands of me, Shawan, she says, and kept asking me for various favors, Mahua Moitra,
Fake letter, not to be believed,
which I had to fulfill in order to remain in close proximity with her and get her support.
It is being
The demands that were made and the favors that were asked included gifting her expensive luxury items, providing support on renovation of her officially allotted bungalow in Delhi, travel expenses, holidays, etc., apart from extending logistical help for her travels in India and around the world. The worst kind of corruption, Gyanendra Mishra. So shocking, so shameful. This is what it has come down to, is it? Just so shameful out here.
It's huge.
It's huge. Everybody's reading this. Talking point number one, ladies and gentlemen, the Mahua Moitra scandal. And where is Mahua Moitra is what we want to know.
I believe that entire case is being built up here on the statement of the main culprit. And this has become a kind of a trend where the main accused are turned approver and then start implicating people right center. So,
are you saying that she's innocent? Are you saying that she's innocent?
No, let me.
Are you saying that she's innocent?
How
Do
much?
you give away your parliamentary login?
Making an allegation against Darshan Hiranandani. Darshan Hiranandani confirming that narrative.
What happens here also is this whole Adani issue.
To a civilian
comes under
entity representative.
If it is truth. So that is the real question. That for 5 days he was silent, completely silent, denying that he has any role to play into it. And now after 5 days, all of a sudden, he comes with a letter, the language of which, the content of which is so self-explanatory.
So why should we not believe the letter?
We need Goenka on the left, please.
Why should we not believe the letter?
The is here to protect himself.
Why should we not believe the letter?
That is so obvious.
Has there not been
by
a
the
violation?
Very content of the letter.
Has there not been a violation?
Can we get that?
Answer the question.
To protect
What does a
himself
member of parliament have a right to give a
individuals
civilian a login to the parliamentary email address?
The main rival of the ruling dispensation. So it is so
Is the
obvious
member
that
of parliament
it is,
this is a case of
what is
propriety.
I think the real story here,
of the member of
the real story here, the big fact we need to consider here tonight as we look at the Mahua Moitra scam. We are still now calling it the Mahua Moitra scandal. And I think if this is true, then it would be appropriate for her to quit on her own rather than being sacked. And there's very little that she can really do to defend herself in this case. Ladies and gentlemen, as we are pursuing this, we must also remember it has become the want of many of these politicians when caught in scandals to go and tell the Supreme Court and the High Court, media trial. And with the greatest of respect to their lordships in all courts, I would say that henceforth, I think in the future, one must hesitate to pass judgments on things like media trials. But how would issues like this ever come out? And their lordships would agree with me, were it not for a very alert media. Now, as their lordships would further agree with me, that were it not for the work and the hard work and the bravery and courage of various sections of the media, these facts would never come out, and it would be some kind of a supercilious assessment by the victims of such exposés to say that they are victims of a media trial. And that unfortunately becomes very politically correct as an angle to take into the courts, and many people fall for such elements of attempted deception. So I think for the courts to please think the media is as important a constituent of our social fabric as the judiciary, and the media doesn't do trials, the media pursues the truth. The victims of our exposés often think it's a trial, but in the larger whether from CWG scam to Mahua Moitra scam, I think the media is doing a fantastic job. And
that nobody questions the role of media when the
Can't
media
hear you,
brings
louder.
the facts on the table. But the people question when media sits on the judgment.
so we brought the facts on. Am I doing a trial?
The media is
Am I doing a trial? If my questions are so pointed, then my alertness and intelligence must be factored in. It's not your supposition that this is a media trial.
And the way these mercenaries are working.
Now, Vineet, what are the questions which emerge here? What are the questions which emerge about what Mahua Moitra has done?
अदानी ने कोयले में कितना स्कैम किया उसको क्या मीडिया ने दिखाया?
Can I get Vineet to comment on this, please?
मीडिया के ऊपर आज सवाल है.
Arnab, Ram, can I speak? Arnab?
Okay, attack the media. It's a fashionable thing nowadays. But nothing will stop the media from doing its job. Can I just get Vineet into this, please? We're talking about bigger issues right now.
Listen me,
And the bigger issue right now is the Mahua Moitra scandal being reported on Republic.
The contest here is the corporate mercenaries. The people who would like to lobby on behalf of the corporate.
The corporate angle to the
government.
The corporate mercenaries behind this whole Adani issue. The corporate political mercenaries are the issue. I agree with you.
The brain which she was thinking about is to insult not only the government but also the elected representatives of this country and insulting citizens of this country. I think this case should be discussed at a larger length.
I'll take a 1 minute break.
And I would like to coin a word. Corporate mercenaries. She acted like a mercenary. पैसा लेके किसी का जो है चरित्र हनन करना उसका काम है ये. We should condemn this with single voice.
Okay, this is a very interesting point in the debate. I've got massive viewership going on right now, and it's an important time for us to take a very short solace break. It's part of a new campaign that has been put out by the Poonawalla FinCorp group, and it's a fantastic anthem called Do It Tibara. It is their new World Cup anthem. So enjoy this, and I'm back in a minute after this very short, very enjoyable break on the Mahua Moitra scandal.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University. In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
We have been reporting from Kibbutz Be'eri, which is the worst hit area by the Hamas attack. As you can see, there are bullet magazines, there are helmet of the Hamas terrorist, and the complete area has been cordoned off. We have been reporting with the Israel Defense Force. There were more than 120 people who were killed. Not only this, but the children and the people were abducted from Kibbutz Be'eri. So there is an alert. There is an alert which has been given by. As you can hear, there are explosion which is been underway, and we have been reporting from Kibbutz. As you can see, there are explosion that has been the rocket that has been fired by the Hamas, which has now been intercepted by Israel.
Right now we are at a place that has been declared as a war zone. रॉकेट लॉन्चर से स्ट्राइक किया गया था और पूरा इलाका जो है वो इस वक्त आपको दिखेगा कि तबाह हो गया है। इजराइल के जो स्पेशल फोर्सेस हैं वो यहाँ पर जा रही हैं। रॉकेट जो है वो यहाँ पर दागे जा रहे हैं। अंदर से कहूँगा कि वो नीचे हो जाए और वो देखिए आप हमारे सिर के ऊपर से पास में जो है वो यहाँ पे मिसाइल।
Okay, Vineet, you were making that point out there on the Mahua Moitra scandal. The letter which is here, we're going to put it out in public domain soon, raises very serious questions about Mahua Moitra's role as a corporate lobbyist working in the guise of a member of parliament. Vineet, I can't hear you. Can you unmute yourself, please? Yeah.
Yeah. So, Arnab, if you can hear me right now. Am I audible? Arnab, if you can hear me right now.
Yes, very much. Yes, very much, very much.
So Ram to you, Ram to all the co-panelists and all the viewers who are watching me right now. This is an excellent case where a person's personal dislike and her own greed of amassing wealth and also the indifferent behavior towards the people who have elected her makes her to become a corporate mercenary. To act on behalf of the corporate masters who pay her and to speak whatever they would like to speak, whether that is right or wrong, whether it is fact or not, she does that. This proves one simple thing. She has crossed all the limits which are called as reasonable limits of dislike or being a politician. She should resign immediately. One more thing is that the silence of Mamta ji is hurting right now. And where is the gang which would like to protect the constitution every now and then? They are also very silent. So we have to ask a question not only to Mahua Moitra ji, but also to TMC, to Mamta ji, and also to all those people for every now and then give duhai of constitution. So I think this is a case where everybody is now feeling ashamed that in India, those who all believe in parliament have been insulted by this lady. If she has done this particular part, investigation should be done. The punishment which has been asked should be the most severe in this particular case. And I hope not only the parliament, but citizens also take cognizance of this particular part.
Does it also not make Rahul Gandhi complicit? Because if Rahul Gandhi was working with Mahua Moitra and he knew that she was getting her information from a corporate group, then Savio, was Rahul Gandhi also not complicit in this? Therefore, the point is, it was Rahul Gandhi also who was working with Mahua Moitra in getting information. So was Rahul Gandhi also working on behalf of certain corporate interests, Savio? That should also be investigated.
Yes.
Rahul Gandhi works for the interest of China most of the time.
Investigate everyone named in the letter. Everyone named in the letter must be investigated. Because what you are clearly seeing is a trend. If a member of parliament is giving a corporate entity's representative access to a login ID and password, it is clearly a violation. So everyone involved or named in that letter has to be investigated and called for questioning. Rahul Gandhi has made it very clear of his affection or disaffection as far as Gautam Adani is concerned. In fact, Gautam Adani has been the only target of Rahul Gandhi for the last several months. So it is fair to assume that Rahul Gandhi and Mahua Moitra are working together to defame Gautam Adani and target Narendra Modi. But Rahul Gandhi never speaks about Gautam Adani's projects in the opposition states, including Congress. Why has he not raised issues about that? So Gautam Adani is Rahul Gandhi's pet punching bag to target Narendra Modi, and the fact that Mahua Moitra is talking to Hiranandani and actually getting details to raise questions on Gautam Adani is a clear indication that this is a conspiracy between certain leaders in the opposition to target Gautam Adani as well as Narendra Modi.
But then the question also is that many logins were used from foreign locations. Many logins were used from foreign locations.
Correct.
So
that is what
that means some parliamentarians were letting foreign elements target Adani Group from foreign locations through parliament logins, which means in turn for money and favors, foreign countries and foreign nationals were allowed to influence the nature of questioning in parliament.
उनके जवाब कौन देगा?
आप समझ रहे हैं भाई साहब, आपकी कांग्रेस पार्टी क्या कर रही है, आप समझ रहे हैं? आप समझ रहे हैं दुष्यंत नागर जी? दुष्यंत जी बोलिए, क्या बोल रहे हैं? कांडिया यू
आप जानते हैं अर्नब गोस्वामी ने आम आदमी का पैसा जेब से निकालने का काम अदानी जी ने किया है। आपको पता है कितना बड़ा कोल स्कैम हुआ है? आप तो चलाते नहीं है
भैया। ये मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ कि
उस रिश्तों के ऊपर
विनीत जी,
सवाल
विनीत
किए, अदानी
विनीत
के और
विनीत
भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेताओं के क्या रिश्ते हैं, कभी आपने नहीं चलाया। आप एक ऐसी सांसद, एक महुआ मोइत्रा के ऊपर सवाल उठा रहे हैं जिसने ताकत दिखाई है, भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ संसद के अंदर सवाल खड़ा करने की जिसने हिम्मत दिखाई है, आपको उसका साथ देना चाहिए। आप महुआ मोइत्रा को डिफेम करने लग गए।
विनीत,
अरे भाई साहब, क्या देश में क्या हो रहा है? अरे पहले तो क्या होता था कि
कोई पैसा लेके, फेवर लेके ये सब अगर कोई करे,
अभी मीडिया विपक्ष के नेताओं पे अटैक करती है। अरे भाई साहब,
भाई अगर पैसा लेके किसी बिजनेस ग्रुप से पैसा लेके, फेवर्स लेके कोई सवाल पूछे, उनके भी
10 करोड़ का पैकेज का नौकरी छोड़ा।
क्या बात कर रहे हैं आप? विनीत जी, विनीत गोयनका,
लोगों की तरह जो
My simple question to you, sir, who are trying to protect Mahua Moitra is, where are the gang which tries to always talk about constitution? Where is Miss Mamata Banerjee? Please tell me, why did she take money and give the logins? Is it correct to hand over the logins of parliament to somebody else? Is it correct to ask question on behalf of a corporate? Is it right to speak something against another corporate just because she has been paid? Is it right to speak against the government just because she has been paid? It's an insult not only to one individual, not only one government, but also to the insult of every citizen who believes in parliament today. It's a hit job, sir.
ईमानदार महिला के ऊपर
इसको मैं एक सिंपल भाषा में enemies within कहता हूँ, sir.
बड़े संस्थान में वाइस प्रेसिडेंट
Arnab, you don't need anybody else when you have such kind of enemies within.
विनीत दोषा,
You know, I remember the senior CDS, the first CDS.
सवाल उठाइए ना, भारत के लोगों के लिए सवाल उठाने की हिम्मत है, भारत के लोगों के लिए सवाल उठाने की हिम्मत है। अरे कोल घोटाला किसने किया है? फाइनेंशियल टाइम्स की रिपोर्ट पढ़ी है आपने? पढ़ी है फाइनेंशियल टाइम्स की रिपोर्ट? भारत के लोगों को लूटा जा रहा है, भारत के आम आदमी की जेल से
वस्तु के लिए
निकाला जा रहा है।
स्वार्थ साधना की आंधी में वसुधा का कल्याण न भूले, ये हमको सिखाया गया है। और आप आज क्या कर रहे हैं? अपने खुद के स्वार्थ के साथ कर लिए, अब जब पूरे हिंदुस्तान को अपमान कर रहे हैं, पार्लियामेंट्री सिस्टम को अपमान कर रहे हैं,
लूटने वालों के साथ खड़े
एक्सपोज योरसेल्फ सर।
हम लोग देश को
कैसे आप अपने घर में जाके बात करेंगे? क्या आप अपने घर में मुंह दिखा पाएंगे कि जब आप इस तरह से करप्ट लोगों को सपोर्ट करेंगे? You may dislike us, sir. You may not like us, but you cannot insult the parliamentary procedure, sir.
उनके साथ खड़े थे,
Sir,
हम भारत को बचाने वालों के साथ खड़े हैं।
And when you are frustrated,
महुआ मोइत्रा ने हमेशा सवाल उठाया है संसद के अंदर, भारत के लिए उठाया है, भारत के लोगों के लिए उठाया है,
पैसे लेके आवाज उठाया है। जब आप पैसे लेके आवाज उठाते हो तो आपको जमूरा बुलाया जाता है, सर। This is only done by people who are called as corporate mercenaries. आवाज जो है ना, ये बढ़ाया नहीं गया था, आवाज बदलने के लिए, बढ़ाने के लिए उन्होंने पैसे लिए, सर, है ना। आप अगर पैसे लेके किसी के बारे में तरफदारी करते हैं, अपमान करने की कोशिश करते हैं, दूसरे कॉर्पोरेट को मारने की कोशिश करते हैं, तो उसको इंग्लिश में मर्सनरी बोलते हैं। दिस एन एक्ट ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट मर्सनरी। इट्स अ हिट जॉब, सर, सिंपल थिंग। You cannot defend her. She did. She should resign. She should come clean. She should tell how much money she has got. And Mamata Banerjee should ask her to resign. She should take action. And where are those people who find the danger to the constitution every now and then? I feel ashamed, sir, when you shout. I feel that we don't understand the inner ethics. Where is the propriety in this particular case, sir?
में पूछे किस विषय के ऊपर पूछे, उसके ऊपर बात करिए, हिम्मत है
उस विषय पे पूछे उन्होंने जिसके उनके पैसे मिले, सर। दुख की बात है कि उन्होंने सवाल जो पूछे थे केवल उसके लिए पूछे थे क्योंकि उनकी जेब में पैसे आए थे। खुद का गुस्सा, खुद का राग, खुद का द्वेष जो है उसके साथ में मिले हुए जो धन है, उस धन के लिए उन्होंने सवाल पूछा, सर। आज उन्होंने अपमान किया है केवल हिंदुस्तान के पार्लियामेंट का नहीं तो हिंदुस्तान के हर उस नागरिक का जो इसके अंदर विश्वास रखता है, सर। और मुझे खेद है कि आप जैसे लोग चिल्ला चिल्ला कर उसको बचाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं।
एक महिला से डरते हो, एक ब्रेव महिला से डरते हो।
मैं एक महिला से नहीं, एक करप्ट आदमी से हम डरते जो हिंदुस्तान को खराब कर सकते हैं। हाँ सर, हम डरते हैं क्योंकि पार्लियामेंट्री प्रोसीजर खराब हो जाएगी।
This is the worst kind.
हम डरते हैं कि ऐसे लोग आएंगे उसके बाद हिंदुस्तान को खराब करेंगे। भारत में सर इस तरह के लोगों के लिए कोई जगह नहीं है। हमने उनको ना की, उनको ना हमने उनको एक्सपोज करना चाहिए। बल्कि
Majid Memon of the Trinamool Congress is with us on the phone. Mr. Memon, this is Arnab here. Good evening.
पासवर्ड क्यों दिया? Who allows her to give the
Mr. Memon, this is Arnab here. Good evening. Mr. Memon, are you there on the line? I was told you were on the line,
Arnab,
Mr. Memon.
Very good evening to you, Arnab, after a long time. Very good evening to you, Arnab.
Thank you. Good to speak to you. Mr. Memon, I was hoping to get your reaction on the news that has come in that Mr. Darshan Hiranandani has confirmed that, he was giving various gifts and luxury items and other sort of quote-unquote payoffs to Mahua Moitra. And he says that she in turn shared with him her email ID as a member of parliament, and using that email ID, he would feed the information for questions in parliament. Now, she's a Trinamool leader, and Darshan Hiranandani has sort of put this out in a signed affidavit and is not denying it now. I'd like your response on this alarming situation.
Well, Arnab, this is certainly a very sensational accusation against a member of parliament. And in fact, the experience of members of parliament of both houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, that they ask all types of questions which they feel are necessary in the interest of their electorate. Now, this accusation from BJP that Mahua had been paid for certain questions to be asked for embarrassing certain people or for favoring certain people. Now here she has emphatically denied that she has received any gifts or she has had any consideration. Yes?
But Mr. Memon, sorry to interrupt, but this I would like to bring to your notice is not an accusation from the BJP. Shravan Sen, who is a senior editor, who you know well, will explain to you, sir, where this confirmation is coming from. Shravan, maybe you can make the point to Mr. Memon.
Mr. Memon, there is a letter that has been written by Darshan Hiranandani, and this has also been shared with the investigative agency. And also remember, the ethics committee would be getting a copy of it. In this, he makes a clear mention of the fact that he's known Mahua Moitra for several years put together, starting from a business summit that took place in the city of Kolkata. He also makes a mention that there have been multiple visits that the parliamentarian has made to Dubai, where he actually stays. They've had frequent meetings, and over a period of time, this, access to her login, as far as which is shared with almost every parliamentarian, that was shared with an industrialist. And importantly, in this, Mr. Memon, they make a mention that he is admitting, Mr. Darshan Hiranandani is admitting that he had access to the login ID. Questions on behalf of the parliamentarian was actually put out by Darshan Hiranandani himself with regards to the Adani group. It's an admission that has already been made. A signed letter has already been shared by the Central Bureau of Investigation.
Now see, this is an allegation, I repeat, Arnab, that this is an allegation, and this allegation needs to be probed. It's after all a word of somebody. He may not directly be a member of BJP, but he could be a well-wisher of some BJP powerful person, and he could be obliging him by towing the line which BJP wants. That cannot be wholly excluded or eliminated. Now, the whole allegation, whole accusation against Mahua is before the Ethics Committee in Parliament. Like the Parliament Ethics Committee examine both sides and thereafter come out with some, truthfulness in the allegation. If it is found to be untrue, is it difficult today in our country to make allegations of this type against anybody, showing on the television certain bottles of liquor, certain cash, etc., has been given to her for the purpose
Mr. Memon, Mr. Memon,
I'm afraid.
Mr. Memon, yes. Initially Mahua tried to deny it, saying that it was her ex-boyfriend who was jilted and that's why he was making the accusations. The Hiranandani group, which you are Mumbai-based, you know well, Mr. Niranjan Hiranandani's son, Darshan Hiranandani, they all denied it initially, saying they're in the business of business and not in the business of politics. However, I personally WhatsApped Mr. Darshan Hiranandani and received, no comments from him. He's not denying the letter. I'm sure he knows what is going out in the public domain. And I'm sure you don't think that the Hiranandani group is also trying to fix Mahua Moitra. The fact of the matter is that she is accused on all sides. And she is accused by the very person who says that he was bribing her. Why would the Hiranandani group make such an admission? if they had done no wrong in the first place? Obviously, they feel that maybe the National Informatics Center may track down the source, so it's better for them to come clean rather than be in denial, especially when the matter is in the public domain and under investigation.
No, Arnab, please permit me to complete, what I'm trying to explain to your queries. Of course, it is something very significant. And whether it is Hiranandani, XYZ, how much authentic the statement of such person would be, how much it would be believable, whether it can be considered as not possibly a fabricated material, all these things we can't guess, neither you nor I. It is, of course, now the Ethics Committee of the Parliament or any other institution which would be probing into it will go to the bottom of the truth. And for that, there is a procedure to be established procedure to be followed. We will have to wait till the both sides are fully heard. And from Mahua's side also, there may be much more stronger evidence forthcoming to support her accusation that this is witch hunting. This is something which is only to bring disrepute to her because she has been fierce in the parliament against the ruling party.
Well, I mean, I think, Mr. Memon, of course, you have to take a particular line on this, but I'm sure you will acknowledge that this is an extremely serious allegation that she faces, and this is the worst allegation that can be made against any politician. Vineet wanted to come in. Mr. Memon, I'll thank you at that stage.
Last word.
I'll thank you very much at that stage. But
last word.
Yes,
word.
please, Mr. Memon. Yes, Mr.
Yes, half a minute. See, it is serious,
Yes.
very serious, very serious, very serious. You have said it 3 times, I would say it 5 times. If it is found that allegations against Mahua are fabricated and are with a kind of a witch hunt, it would be too serious a matter.
Well, I would say that, if established, it will establish that a parliamentarian was a catalyst used by a corporate group. We told one journalist is commenting that Mahua Moitra now is trying to claim Hiranandani group is under pressure, but I think this is, till a few days back, the Hiranandani group had rubbished the allegation. We're only reporting it, saying we have always been in the business of business and not the business of politics. Now, if this is true, then Darshan Hiranandani must have breached parliamentary protocol, taken access to a member of parliament's Lok Sabha credentials and planted his own questions for all you know. So it's a serious matter. We're giving all sides of the story here on Republic. Mr. Memon, thank you very much. Vineet wanted to add something, but before that, Savio.
Can I ask?
Savio, this is going viral all across social media everywhere.
Mr. Menon is there, then I can ask a question to him.
It's going to be very difficult for her to play victim.
While I respect Mr. Menon's point of view, we are forgetting that if it is true, it is a grave violation. Arnab, the country needs to understand that you have a parliamentarian who's given access to a login ID and password, and that login ID and password reportedly has been used outside of India. That is a very serious allegation.
It's a very serious allegation. Very serious allegation indeed. Vineet.
Gentlemen, understand there is something called as tech forensic. The tech forensic can establish the conversation which has been done between her and the other parties who paid her. A. B. Those who don't know should know that the fintech traceability which can be done in India now with the able agencies like NTRO and other agencies can also establish who paid for her purchases. Whatever she has purchased, who has paid for that. So it is a very easy game. But before this has been said, one simple thing is she should come out and tell that, okay, why did she do this? It's a simple case of corporate mercenary, acting on behalf of her corporate people to, one, insult another corporate and also to create a walk inside the house. I think those people who are supporting her, I feel like telling them in Hindi, दोस्त आज उसके साथ में खड़े रहते समय हिंदुस्तान का तो अपमान न करे, लोगों के आईक्यू का तो अपमान न करे. It's a common sense. People know this now. You don't try to defend her in the technicalities of the legality. It's a very simple case. I think probably Mamta should come, make a statement, sir.
और बहुत ही निम्न स्तरीय व्यवहार के साथ में आप सब लोग उसके साथ खड़े हैं जिस आदमी पे अरबों रुपए का घोटाला करने का आरोप है, जिस व्यक्ति ने भारत
नहीं सर, आपको एक समझना पड़ेगा, आप हमको कुछ भी बुला लीजिए, लेकिन आज तो जो केस है वो प्रोप्राइटरी की केस है।
करोड़ों रुपए का पैसा खाने का काम किया, 25 लाख करोड़ रुपए का बैंकों का पैसा कहां गया पता नहीं, भारत के ऊपर कितना कर्जा हो गया, कितना कर्जा बढ़ गया, उस पे चर्चा नहीं होती। एक कॉर्पोरेट का व्यक्ति खा गया,
तो जवाब ही नहीं
खा गया 5 लाख करोड़ रुपया खा गया। अरे आप लोग जवाब नहीं देते हो, मेरे सवालों का जवाब नहीं देते आप बता दीजिए ना, फाइनेंशियल टाइम्स में क्या छपा है, फाइनेंशियल टाइम्स में क्या छपा है आपको दिखता नहीं है?
क्या बात कर रहे हो?
बटन दबाता है भारत का आम आदमी अपने घर में और पैसा जाता है अदानी की जेब में।
It's so shameful.
आप जवाब नहीं देते, आप एक मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट
if true it will stand confirmed,
अपमानित करने के लिए
if true it will stand confirmed that Mahua Moitra gave her login details to an outsider. If true, it will stand confirmed that as a member of parliament, Mahua Moitra outsourced her asking of questions to a private corporate businessman. If true, it will raise questions on whether Mahua Moitra, in return of gifts from a corporate man, outsourced her questions in parliament. If true, the question will be asked if Mahua Moitra was just a plant for a corporate house and whether she was, as a corporate plant, putting corporate interests. Both are equally damning. And if true, the question will be asked whether Mahua used a coterie of so-called influential business journalists and businessmen to be part of this plot. It's a cash for query scandal. I would rather call it a scam. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very, very alarming development, and Mahua Moitra is in a big soup of her own making. When I come back, viewers, the other big story, why the India Alliance is supporting directly or indirectly the Hamas, and why that is against our national interest. And I'll play for you once again the Poonawalla FinCorp World Cup anthem that's trending today. Let's do it, Tibara.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
Republic is reporting from Israel, Be'eri kibbutz, where more than 120 people were killed, where the Hamas terrorist was the first location where Hamas terrorist has entered in the entire area that was taken up by the Hamas terrorists. But now it is under being controlled by the IDF. As we have been speaking, we can also hear the explosion that is happening, but this is in retaliation by the Israel. It's an IDF location. So as you see on your screen, there are continuously artillery that is being fired where the Hamas terrorists is still hiding.
Right now we are at a place that has been declared as a war zone. रॉकेट लॉन्चर से स्ट्राइक किया गया था और पूरा इलाका जो है वो इस वक्त आपको दिखेगा कि तबाह हो गया है। इजराइल के जो स्पेशल फोर्सेस हैं वो यहाँ पर जा रही हो। रॉकेट जो है वो यहाँ पर दागे जा रहे हैं। तंत्र से कहूंगा कि वो नीचे हो जाए और वो देखिए आप हमारे सिर के ऊपर से पास में जो है वो यहाँ पे मिसाइल्स गिरी है। 50 से 70 गोलियां जो हैं इस गाड़ी पर दागी गई, जिसके बाद हमास के आतंकी यहां से आगे की ओर निकले।
Israel has started to bombard Gaza in retaliation for the act of barbaric terror unleashed on the people of Israel. Netanyahu has announced his intent. There is going to be a solid ground offensive. The Hamas is in panic. There is a definite division of the world order between those who believe that Israel has the right to retaliate for the killing of its people, for the murder of its babies, for the rapes on Israeli women, and for the abduction of children and the elderly. And on the other side, the wokes. Everything you ask them, they say, look at the root cause. So-called liberals become the strongest support base for terrorists. Rape is not resistance, and murder has no morality. If you agree with me, take a stance. Say openly, but say with pride and say with aggression. Tell these wokes, rape is not resistance, and murder has no morality.
Right now we are in the Sedroit area, which is 3 kilometers from the border of Gaza. Cops have been deployed here. This was one of the worst hit areas of the Sedroit, as here the terrorists not only barged but attacked one of the biggest police station that is here in the border area. This was first attacked, taken hostage by the terrorists of Hamas. This is one of the deadliest attack, and we are continuing to show you that how the Hamas terrorists unleashed terror on the civilians of Israel.
From the Delhi studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Arnab Goswami on the debate at 10. Presented by Berger Easy Clean. Powered by Reva University, Quick Heal Secrite, Green Lamb Laminates, PolicyBazaar.com and Cucina. Co-powered by Mankind Pharma and Nexon EV.
Okay, we have just been told that an official email has come our way. And this has been sent by someone representing the Hiranandani group. And they have officially confirmed the full statement which we have here of Mr. Darshan Hiranandani, who stays in Dubai, who represents the Hiranandani group, which effectively says that he was putting and giving payoffs to Mahua Moitra and giving a lot of things and material items and luxury items and funding her and her travels and her holidays. And in turn, he was being given access to her parliamentary login through which he would put questions to target the Adani group. And therefore, this is a terrible, terrible political corporate conspiracy which has just been unraveled, in which the Hiranandani group, along with Mahua Moitra, were accessing parliament in order to create a political conspiracy which Mr. Hiranandani says he was aware was being done to target Mr. Narendra Modi, and he was a willing instrument in all of this. And he has now said that since all of this matter has anyway been exposed and it involves me, and since the judiciary has come to know about it and the Parliamentary Privilege Committee has known about it, I might as well come out and reveal everything about this whole case. So this will have huge ramifications. And Alisha, who's presently reporting from Israel, received the email a little bit, I think, Israel time, about a few minutes back, and she's online with us right now. And then Abhishek and I will take this forward. So who did you receive this email from, Alisha? And what does it say?
Well, Arnab, this is a mail from AVP Corporate Communication Hiranandani Group, which I have received, and clearly mentioned that please find attachment copy of affidavit submitted by Mr. Darshan Hiranandani to Ethics Committee of Parliament this evening for your perusal. So this is an official mail which I am being showing on your screen right now, and this mail has been sent by the AVP Corporate Communication Hiranandani Group, and it is also the copy of affidavit which I am being showing as of now. So this the copy and the which has been submitted to the expert to the committee, where the Ethics Committee of Parliament this evening, and now it has also been shared with media.
Well, so that's a straight confirmation out here. It comes with huge ramifications, because it becomes impossible for even Mahua Moitra's best friends in the lobby to defend her anymore. Thank you very much for that, Alisha, and keep doing the fantastic and brave and incredible reporting that you are doing from all across Israel. You know, people are calling in. You have a large fan base right now among people who love your relentless and Gursimran's reporting. So well done, and for that we are very proud of your work, and we shall connect again. Thank you, Alisha. Thank you, Alisha. That confirmation from Alisha really says it, doesn't it? I mean, what follows from here? Because this whole Adani quote-unquote issue now becomes exposed for what it was. It was apparently now a very deep political corporate conspiracy in which parliamentary questions were being fed in maybe from foreign locations.
Yes.
And people who are foreign residents, such as Mr. Darshan Hiranandani, who is a permanent resident of Dubai, was from Dubai influencing parliamentary questions in India. Absolutely. This is absolutely horrendous. Horrendous.
And look at the brazenness. Till yesterday,
he was denying it.
Mahua Moitra is filing defamation cases. She knows what she has done. Darshan the Darshan, the, Darshan, the,, Darshan, the,, Darshan, the, 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 Dars she thought that she can get away with browbeating this young lawyer, the Jayanant Hedrai. She thought
and
that
also then describing him as a jilted boyfriend.
Yes.
And then also equally putting pressure on this young corporate figure, Mr. Darshan Hiranandani, who was using her and she was using him to
and she
plant
they're complicit
corporate
in
questions
crime.
in
She
Parliament.
won't come
So she
out.
thought that he can't turn approver because they're in it together.
And he has turned approver.
But perhaps he's been driven by his corporate interests.
Because he
if
realized the scale of crime.
he can just go to jail for doing this, and probably he's been advised. Probably he's being advised here to do so and come out with this to save himself rather than get into further trouble. Though I think it's terrible if the Hiranandani group is doing this, and I hope that Mr. Niranjan Hiranandani particularly puts out a statement on this. I have Mr. Shukanta Majumdar, BJP president in Bengal, I was told, on the phone line with us. Mr. Majumdar, can you hear me, sir?
Yes. Quite loud and clear. Am I audible, Arnab?
Thank you, Mr.
Am I
Majumdar. I
audible?
just want... Yes. Absolutely, Shukanto. I can hear you very well. Thank you for joining us. Shukanto, Republic is breaking a story that Darshan Hiranandani has turned an approver. And he has admitted that he was funding Mahua Moitra and giving her luxury items, foreign holidays and other financial support. And in turn, she had given him access to her parliamentary login. And he was using her parliamentary login to put questions against the Adani group. What do you think the Trinamool Congress and Mahua Moitra should do now, Mr. Majumdar?
See, I think it is a big allegation and there should be a proper investigation. And if Mr. Nandani is right, then the investigation should run and the punishment should be actually the MP, that is the Mahua Moitra, should get the punishment. Because it is quite a breach of privilege. You cannot share your account ID, login ID with such a person which runs a business house, which is antagonistic to another business house, and he is using your login ID for putting the question against another business house. That means they are using the MP's credential for targeting one particular business house. And not only that, it is the larger conspiracy is there because they were targeting the Mahua Moitra especially. She was targeting the Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister of this country. So there is a chance of bigger conspiracy and that should be investigated and that should be busted. Because who are the people? Those are behind this thing. Because these questions not only hampered the financial health of the Adani group, but also affected the financial condition of the country also. So there should be investigation and proper investigation. All the agencies, those are related to this kind of things, should investigate the matter. And if the Mahua Moitra, that is if Mr. Chandani's claims come out correct, then she should be punished.
Yeah, because Mr. Majumdar, the allegation is that he was taking money from a corporate house to target Narendra Modi by targeting Gautam Adani because they were contemporaries. So this actually exposes a very big corporate political conspiracy. But Mr. Majumdar, so far she's still getting Mamata Banerjee's protection. Why is Mamata Banerjee protecting her when so much is coming out against her?
See, Arnab, the first thing is taking money is a credit in case of TMC. TMC feels and thinks that taking money from the other people is not a crime. It is quite regular in West Bengal. As you know, you are quite familiar with the West Bengal politics. So it is not a crime in the eyes of Mamata Banerjee. But you have rightly said, they are targeting Narendra Modi by using the Adani group. हिंदी में एक कहावत है, कहीं पे नजर कहीं पे निशाना. So this thing happened, and as Honorable Prime Minister of this country, the people of this country elected him more than by giving the more than 300 seats. And that man was targeted. So that's why I think a thorough investigation should be there, and Mamata Banerjee should also punish her MP if she has done this thing.
Absolutely. Mr. Majumdar, I'm sure this is going to be a very, 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 very big, very big political controversy in Bengal, and we'll have to see where it goes. I mean, like, interesting what Mamata Banerjee does this time. Thank you for speaking to Republic. Thank you, Mr. Majumdar. Thank you. Thank you. And we have a response coming in from Sucheta Dalal.
She's named.
Who is named in this letter of Darshan Hiranandani. Sucheta Dalal is an ex or whatever business journalist. And she says something which I think you'd like to read out. Sucheta Dalal. So very sort of well-known names in the journalistic world also coming out. As I say,
she has dropped
this is the biggest scandal.
Yeah.
This is the single biggest scandal since the Radia tapes.
And she has dropped Mahua Moitra like a hot
since
potato.
The name of Veer Sanghvi and Barkha Dutt and all these people came out in the Radia tapes. This is the biggest since then. And what has Sucheta done?
Yeah, and
what
she
has Sucheta done?
She has dropped Mahua like a hot potato.
Okay.
She's saying that this is completely stupefying.
Okay.
I do not know Mahua Moitra personally at all.
Okay.
I may have retweeted some of her stuff. I don't know Pallavi Shroff.
Okay.
She's a big business journalist.
She doesn't know Pallavi Shroff. Okay.
And I used to know Shardul Shroff long ago.
Okay.
I dare anyone to find any links between me and them, requesting IT Minister, she has tagged Rajiv Chandrasekhar, to help me get to the bottom of it. And she's tagged Ashwini Vaishnav. And also, please help.
I think very interesting nowadays. Sucheta Dalal's situation is very strange because she does more denials herself than the corporates she once used to cover.
She's saying this is one of the...
Incredible
One time the government ought to help prevent this kind of slander by some crooks. So she's calling Darshan Hiranandani a crook.
She's calling Darshan a crook. It's getting curiouser and curiouser. Sucheta Dalal does more denials than she got from the corporates she once used to cover. How incredible, how the cookie crumbles, doesn't it? I mean, very interesting here. Now, viewers, the way this story is placed, and we'll go straight on breaking with this for just a while, is that various names are coming up. Sucheta Dalal, Shardul Shroff, Pallavi Shroff, who were assisting Mahua Moitra. Sucheta Dalal says nothing doing. I don't know Mahua Moitra at all. I have no information with her. But what is happening right now is very interesting as a developing news story, viewers. What you saw to be the Adani scam, Abhishek, what was projected as the Adani scam is now coming out to be, Vineet and Vivek are now coming out to be
a corporate conspiracy,
a corporate political conspiracy hatched using pawns/plants in Parliament, who in turn for money and favors and access and gifts and foreign holidays were willing to be voices for those corporate groups to target the Adani group in Parliament. So typical confluence of interests out here. Tuhin Sinha is joining us right now, so we get an official BJP response to this big story. Tuhin, this is incredible. I mean, I would say that of all the stories we've done, this is just incredible. The whole Adani thing was quite clearly a huge corporate...
It's a throwback to Neera Radia, except for the role of Neera Radia is played by an MP.
Yeah, the role that journalists played in Neera Radia case, that time the plant was a journalist. We all know who. We all know who. And in this case, the plant is...
An MP.
A member
an honourable member of Parliament.
Absolutely. And they're all same sort of cozy Lutyens club. Yeah? Okay. Official response. Tuhin, what do you make of it, Tuhin?
Good evening, Arnab. You know what Mahua Moitra has done is equivalent to match fixing in cricket. You know, she has sold the interests of her constituents, the place where she has been elected from.
Congrats for finding
but if you look at it,
a new funder
number
for
one,
the BJP.
She has, please don't interfere. There will be more.
Allow him
who
to
will get
speak.
exposed. So please, You can congratulate. I don't need your congratulations. I don't need your congratulations, and I don't accept your congratulations. So keep your congratulations to yourself. I reject your congratulations. I reject your congratulations. Now please keep quiet and allow me to speak. I reject your congratulations. Now allow me to speak. Now, Arnab, number one, Mahua Moitra was a corporate mercenary. It is very clear from the affidavit. Can I make a response? You know, I mean, these urban Naxals, will they allow me to speak, please? You know, number one, she was a corporate mercenary. But number two, the way it was operating, there is a national security threat involved with it. But because if somebody was logging into her parliamentary question, you know, had parliamentary login credentials and was operating from foreign shores, then obviously there is a national security element involved. But number three, there are a host of her close friends who have been mentioned in the affidavits, which includes Rahul Gandhi, which includes Shashi Tharoor, and each of these people needs to be thoroughly investigated. Arnab, I will give you an example. You know, look at the fly-by-night operating style of these opposition parties. If you remember Rahul Gandhi, till about 6 to 8 months ago, he would constantly attack two industrialists. He would constantly say, "Hum do, hamare do," when taunting Mr. Modi. Now suddenly, where has the other industrialist disappeared? You know, has there been some kind of a deal? So this is the way these opposition parties operate. They have zero credential. Parliament sessions have been wasted on frivolous issues like Pegasus, issues where they have not had the courage to go and file an FIR despite repeatedly being advised by the government. So I think it is high time other MPs who have been named as close associates of Mahua Moitra are also investigated. Finally, you know, the buck stops with Mamta Banerjee. Was she privy to the fact that the person whom she had sent to Parliament from Krishnanagar was actually selling the interest of her constituents in Krishnanagar by actually indulging in what I said was an equivalent of match fixing in cricket? She was a corporate mercenary, and shame on her.
Now, Tuhin, can I just ask you, how do you know all these facts?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the official BJP reaction to this story, and I just want to add here, Piyush, I just want to add here that what Darshan has said, and I've been exchanging some WhatsApps with him. May I just add here? And I told Darshan that, Darshan, I feel you need to speak. And I then told him that I assume you're not denying, to which he said, thank you, no comment. So when a journalist says that to a person, he could have easily told me, I deny what you're reporting. He's not denying it.
No, that's all right. But
yes, absolutely,
can I just ask Tuhin, he has just presented the national, a set of facts on national television. I am just wondering
but do you realize what's happening here, Piyush? This whole Adani story, one minute. This whole Adani story was a journalist, politician, corporate, payoff, kickback, conspiracy. Do you realize what's happening? Do you realize the magnitude of what is happening if proven to be true? Do you realize, Piyush, the magnitude of what is happening if proven to be true? The quote-unquote lobby will have nowhere to hide. The lobby will have nowhere to hide for centuries after this.
One more financer, one more well-to-do.
Is that the nature of
just 1 minute, please?
That the agencies provide the BJP spokesperson with a set of facts first hand, and thereafter only they take the facts in their possession to the court. How do you know all this?
One minute, one at a time. Tuhin. He's countering you, let him.
How do you know? How do you know all this?
How do I know what? 1 minute, just a minute.
I'm not talking about
Piyush, can you just first of all bring down the intensity of your outrage when you ask me that question? I will answer. But let me tell you this.
The intensity,
let me tell you this.
Probably you understood.
No, let me tell you this, Piyush. 1 minute. Listen to me. I am responding to you. Be less verbose. You are sounding like Kalmadi when he asked me, how did you know this information? You're asking like Raja when he said, how did you know this? We know the information, it is proven. The Hiranandani group, for your kind information, and don't interrupt. Don't interrupt. I'm still speaking. Don't speak over me. The Hiranandani group has sent an email. What more do you want?
Not to you, Baba.
And they have said,
No, I'll answer.
They have said,
Let me answer him.
well, Tuhin is getting the information through his sources in the media, I'm sure.
When did the role got reversed? The question was.
I don't understand, Piyush, what your point is. You guys are not realizing how big this is.
You have your sources. Since you cannot answer the question that how did you come in possession of such facts, that is why you are drawing frivolous comparisons. Kalmani and Raja and whatnot.
Respond to him.
Now Tuhinji kindly answer.
The information that we have today is by way of personal confessions of people directly involved in the matter. So when you have personal confessions, that by itself becomes clinching evidence. Now the onus is upon Mahua Moitra to prove otherwise, which so far she has not been able to do. On the other hand, she has been making snide remarks against everybody.
Abhishek,
and to the best
information.
of my knowledge, till now, there has not been any
one minute. And also,
from TMC, because even they know that the entire issue is indefensible.
Has been taken for a toss.
And also, let me tell you what has happened here. Just 1 minute. It is said here, there were others who were assisting her in this targeted attack. She had interactions with many Congress leaders, including Mr. Rahul Gandhi.
Yeah, that is
on matters relating to Adani company.
Mr. Gandhi through this whole scandal.
Then she had interactions with several international journalists along with Indian publications. She received unverified details from several sources, and certain information was also shared with me, based on which this is Darshan Hiranandani says, based on which he says, Subrashta, I continued to draft and post questions using her parliamentary login whenever I needed.
Exactly.
I mean, this is
whenever I needed.
Exactly.
So Hiranandani is using a Lok Sabha login from a foreign address to post questions.
I think the evidence would have been so damning that he had to come out.
Subrashta,
the evidence would have been so damning.
Subrashta.
No, it is so
compromising the
artificial.
integrity of
Subrashta, please finish.
itself. It's a very simple case.
I don't understand why.
Thank you.
I don't understand why are the others speaking in the background.
Are we going to ban Mr. Hiranandani from doing business in the country now?
Sir, what
is
are
he
you
a
saying?
Deshdrohi or he's not a Deshdrohi?
So,
a communist who speaks for capitalists.
Let's take opinions from people.
Vivek,
oh my God.
Are you speaking for capitalism? Are you speaking for capitalism, Vivek?
Exactly, this is what I was going to say.
Welcome if you are doing so.
It is quite ironic that such a statement.
Are you going to punish him?
I think the opposition in this country deserves a special mention. अरे रवि जी थोड़ा शांत हो जाइए, मुझे बोल लेने दीजिए ना. आपका नाम सुब्रास्ता नहीं है. आपको एफिडेविट, अगर आप एफिडेविट शो कीजिए कि आपका नाम सुब्रास्ता हो गया है, तो फिर आप बकबक कीजिए. क्या आदत है आपकी? क्या आदत है आपकी रवि जी?
Let's try to attack Mahua
क्या
Moitra.
बात कर रहे हैं? You are sounding senile. Do you know that?
Settle scores with Mr. Rahul Gandhi.
Arnab, I'm sorry, but I can't speak if this gentleman continues
अगर
to speak
पैसा
like
लेके
this.
सवाल पूछा है और झूठ बोला है, अडानी को टारगेट करने के लिए पैसा लेके ये सब कंस्पिरेसी हो रही है, तो पता तो होना चाहिए ना देश को. क्या बात कर रहे हैं आप?
नहीं देश को ये
सुचेता, सॉरी, सुचेता, सुचेता is busy denying. Subrashta, don't get distracted. Please continue.
In this country, can you please lower down his volume for some time? Can you please lower down his volume for some time, because his voice keeps echoing unnecessarily. Look, I think the opposition in this country deserves a special mention and special honor for being in the middle of a scam even when they are not in power. When they were in power, we all saw what happened. We all saw the Radia Gate. We all saw all kinds of scams that they indulged in. Today, the opposition is, involved in a scam as serious as posting parliamentary questions. So there are 2-3 things which I want to address. Number one, the kind of intellectual aura that Mahua Moitra created with her, vintage saris and those, red bindi and all of that. I think it's all gone to shreds because that woman can't even post a proper parliamentary question.
She needs smart industrialists in this country to actually pose questions on her behalf. So point number one. Point number two, as a taxpayer and an honest tax-paying citizen of this country, I feel extremely enraged knowing that I send somebody to Parliament, but that woman does not have the basic decency to hold the honor of that post and gives up her email ID and credentials to a corporate person, and I'm siding with the left here, Arnab, for a change, for gives it to a corporate house, corporate house to post questions just so that this particular this particular lobby can be defended better than the other one. And this is a scam at a completely different level. I think I've gone on record to say, please make lobbying legal in India. But till the time lobbying is illegal, till the time this kind of nefarious nexus is illegal in this country, I think parliamentarians like Mahua Moitra should not only be brought to task, it should also be mentioned that people like Mahua Moitra are a shame on Indian politics.
One sec.
She's an educated individual.
This is 1 minute. You can 1 minute. This is what he has said here. Let's understand the seriousness of what it is. This is a payoff. You can call it a kickback. A payoff, and it is a breach of privilege combined.
I agree with you.
And so it's a mix of both of these matters which make it very serious. Now Shishir Bajoria from the BJP in Bengal is joining us. Already I think is ripples in Bengal, and Mamata Banerjee is coming under pressure. Shishir, can she continue to defend him? Can she continue to defend her after this? Mahua Moitra. Can Mamata defend Mahua after this? Should she?
What I see from Trinamool camp right now is complete silence. I don't see anybody, I've not heard anybody from Trinamool saying a word in defense of Mahua. But how can anyone defend? If you keep repeating the same point over and over again, a lie doesn't become a truth. A question asked 100 times doesn't establish that as a fact. I was always wondering why is this happening, but today it's very clear why it was happening. Now I have only one point. Everything which happened, Arnab, happened on the floor of the House. It was related to the House. The Honourable Speaker has referred it to the Ethics Committee. She's an Honourable MP still. I'm still using the word Honourable because it's customary to say that. Now go and put your defence in front of the Speaker if you have a defence. Otherwise, the Ethics Committee will take a decision. Arnab, I remind you, 2005, 11 MPs, the Ethics Committee removed them from membership for cash for question. When Shobnath Chatterjee was the Speaker. As you know, Arnab, I was part of Shobnath Babu's team.
Yes, I'm completely aware of this. But the question here is, Shishir, that if she took money and if she was paid to do this, that gives a completely different perspective to the whole thing. If she was on the payrolls of a corporate group and basically gave all her parliamentary privileges to the corporate group to use as they wished to fix their corporate rivals. So she was virtually selling her parliamentary access. That's what this amounts to. Viewers, if we look at the consequences of what we are witnessing today, and I do believe, and I hope the India Alliance does not make the terrible mistake of trying to defend Mahua Moitra in this. She's cornered by the person accusing her. She's cornered by the person who was part of the crime. She has no defense after this left. Shishir.
Arnab, it's even beyond corporate rivalry, where we now know that even foreign journalists and foreign papers, which we know systematically attack our country, they systematically attack our leadership. They were also part of this. So it actually now crosses boundaries, not just commercial boundaries, it goes into, I would say, crossing nationalist boundaries. So this is something very, very serious, Arnab.
Very serious. Well, Shishir, thank you very much. Akshay Bhamri is a lawyer and activist. Akshay, what do you make of this developing story?
This scam, cash over scam, there are two main reasons which I'll point out. First one, Darshan Hiranandani is the son of the real estate billionaire, Niranjan Hiranandani. So I'll say this came across after the defamation charges filed by the Moitra against the BJP MP Nishan Dubey. That is the first development. Second, bribe from businessmen to ask question. Now there is in Nishan Dubey affidavit, he says that she have shared her email information, and on that basis he has drafted proposal, question, answer and speeches. First point, if this is a breach of privileges, there are 2 points: contempt of house, privileges, and the third part is breach. First, an MP, a sitting MP, cannot share most of his information which are privately for privileges. So that is not possible that Mahua Moitra on an email that she will share her login information. So that on the way is incomplete information and cannot be, these are not the grounds of the allegation. Second, here the point is the government put guns to the Darshan head. Why there is no CBI inquiry, why there is no ethics committee raid on his? The only reason is his real estate business has huge investment on the states. Second reason, when all these state investments are there are threats by the government to shut down such real expansions and financial systems. That is the reason the government is putting a gun to the Darshan head. Now the 2 points, the allegations are inquiry committee, the complaint is pending under the inquiry committee. Second, login credentials, detail, IP address, are these only allegations. Third, if the point is breach of privileges, then in such cases she will never share all such information. That is the first opinion. Second, it is just a snowball controversy. Now if after the defamation case, if these allegation is put up on a sitting MP, after this is just a snowball controversy. Why?
I'll get to it. No, I think
the Kolkata
Akshay,
regime.
you're bravely trying to find a lever through which you can say that these are trumped up charges. But I think the point to consider and the point to re-emphasize constantly in this is, these are not allegations made by a political party. This is a confession made by a fellow accused.
Absolutely.
So it takes a completely different form. You see, you understand. It is like Sachin Waze trying to turn approver in a case.
Absolutely.
It is as bad as that. People may not like the comparison, but it is a co-conspirator who is spilling the beans. So it's a totally different character to this. Tuhin and Vineet on Subrashta also on this. Tuhin, this is a different character to this. Now Darshan is doing it to defend his political interests. He stays in Dubai, but his father stays in Mumbai. I'm sure Niranjan Hiranandani is feeling the heat for what his son has done. Maybe his son was overambitious, got carried away, but whatever. Niranjan Hiranandani has got to defend his business interests, and so maybe has told his son to come out with a confession to him.
Yes, and protecting your business means tying up with the government, having a good relationship with the Indian government.
I have briefly
having good relations with the
IPs,
trying to get more projects.
Briefly met Mr. Niranjan. No, I have no idea what may have gone into the statement today. I have met Niranjan Hiranandani a couple of times very briefly, and I have known, he could come across as a reasonably mature person. So I have no idea of who Darshan Hiranandani is. So I have no idea what would have gone into it. But fact is that these allegations were made, as you mentioned, by people extremely close to Mahua Moitra. One, possibly an ex-boyfriend who has lived with her, who has seen her very closely, and the other who, she was using for her vested gains and who was ostensibly bribing her. So these are confessional statements. These are not political by nature. That's number one. And mind you, in his affidavit, he has also spoken about her dominant behavior. So for all you know, it could have been a joint fallout of Jairaj and Darshan together. So let us not get into it. Fact is, what we have today is clinching by nature. It is confessional by nature, and that should be it. From here, it is for Mamata Banerjee to make her stand clear. Will she tolerate perfidy of this nature by an elected member of parliament of her party? But more importantly, as I had mentioned, Arnab, each of those people mentioned as close associates of Mahua Moitra, the journalists and the politicians also need to be probed. Because, you know, this opposition, the way they have behaved in the last 2 or 3 years, they were clearly carrying out a malafide agenda. Was it motivated? Was it?
No, what was Rahul Gandhi's role in this? Because Rahul Gandhi's name comes up twice. Rahul Gandhi's name comes up twice in this particular Subrashtra. Rahul Gandhi's name comes up twice in this confessional statement of Darshan Hiranandani. He can no longer really hide behind on this one. He's very much, his role is also very strongly under scrutiny in this scam.
First of all, Arnab, I think if there is an India alliance which is absolutely clear on its agenda and is absolutely coherent in what the other alliance partners are with respect to any subject, I think Rahul Gandhi and the India alliance together should come up with a joint statement to take a position on this particular case in the very first place. We don't know what the opposition says. We don't really know what their stand is, what TMC's stand is, what India alliance's stand is, and what Congress's stand is. Because in the absence of a clear-cut stand, I don't think the voters of this country can be fooled anymore. Because this is a grave situation, and this is not just breach of parliamentary privilege, Arnab. Please understand, Mahua Moitra represents a number of, she's symbolic of a number of important developments in this country. A, women leadership. B, the quality of women leadership.
No, this is very important.
C, the idea that educated women can come. Yeah, so this is taking many struggles 10 steps back. She's an educated individual. She's had a corporate life herself. To stoop to such levels.
I've got the Trinamool Truth Jai Anant Dehad Rai, who Mahua describes as her ex-boyfriend, who she says she jilted him. I mean, I think it's absolutely so unfortunate that she describes a person she was in a relationship as a jilted man just because he exposed her. He just speaks about the way she speaks. It's so repulsive, to speak like that. But he has, however, been very graceful through this, and he has just tweeted, "Truth always wins." He's not speaking on the record yet. Mr. Mohammad Tausif Rahman of the Trinamool Congress with me. Mr. Rahman, this terrible scandal which has hit Mahua Moitra, can your party afford to defend her after the fact that she's also been exposed by the Hiranandani group in an official statement some time back? She was taking money, apparently, according to them, and gifts and luxury items from them.
Arnab, once again, it's all tactics to defame TMC and their leaders. I mean, these charges are nothing new. These charges are coming from last 10 years, 5 years, 6 years. And you know the importance of Mahua Moitra inside the parliament. I mean, the way she rose and the way she speaks up. I mean, these allegations are nothing but a cream.
But she was taking money. Is that no consequence? She's taking money and using she's giving her login details. She's taking money.
I mean, Arnab, such videos.
And the corporate group is saying we are giving her money. It's okay for you?
Arnab, I'm sure you are standing on a neutral part, right? It is neutral side. So such videos, such fake.
No, I am asking you about the statement, Mr. Rahman. Mr. Rahman. Mr. Rahman, this is not a video. This is a statement released by the Hiranandani group, who are co-accused with her. They have spoken about her.
It's all right. Anyone can come and give statement. Even I can give some statement, but this is ridiculous. I mean, these videos, such statement is against Suvendu Adhikari as well, who's the leader of corruption or leader of opposition.
So you're supporting her, okay. So you're supporting her, Subrashtra. Subrashtra and Tuhin are responding to you. Tausif, both of them, two on the screen, please.
But you have no issues.
Some kind of agenda. So what proof do you have? Who is Hiranandani?
I'll tell you what is ridiculous, Mr. Tausif Rahman.
Is he the judge from Supreme Court?
Mr. Mohammad Tausif Rahman, I'll tell you what is ridiculous. It is ridiculous that people from India Alliance, that people from, the opposition camp will take every, word from the New York Times as the gospel of truth. But hold on, Mr. Tausif. There is a written statement, there is a written confession from Darshan Hiranandani, whose name has popped up in this controversy. He was apparently a friend. So, yeah, of course he's not a judge of the Supreme Court, and so we are the voters of this country. The voters of this country are not. The voters of this country are not stupid. Who are going to accept your comments like this is ridiculous, lying low.
This thing will not work.
Why don't you understand one simple basic thing, Tausif Rahman?
Abhishek Banerjee, again you want to.
What is this new agenda, Mr. Tausif Rahman? Please tell me, what does a friend of Mahua Moitra has to gain by coming on record to say that she accepted so many luxurious items from him? He sits in Dubai. This woman is here in Parliament who has given her parliamentary... No.
You never know. ED must be knocking the doors of Hiranandani as well.
Is it possible?
So what? So Mr. Hiranandani would come out. So hold on. Mr. Rahman, I'm going to expose you on your own. I'm going to expose you on your own agenda. So if the ED, so if ED is knocking the doors of Hiranandani's house or whatever property or whatever business he's a part of, Mahua Moitra will give her access, credentials of whole. Who must be lying? तो IP address आप बताओ ना कि IP address क्यों पाया गया दर्शन हिरानंदानी के पास?
What is the proof that they are giving?
What is the proof that what you are saying? No. What is the proof that what you are saying is not a kickback from? No. Let me ask you a simple question, Mr. Tausif Rahman. What is the proof?
No, 1 minute. Subrashta. 1 minute. Subrashta, 1 minute. Can I please come in? My question here is, Subrashta, can I request us let us just argue very calmly on this. Thank you, Subrashta. No, Tausif, hear me. There is a possible line of questioning out here, and Abhishek would like to put it through. You see, it is the Hiranandani group, Mr. Tausif Rahman says, is self-implicating because it is scared of the government. However, equally possible, Mr. Rahman, is that the Hiranandani group, which initially tried to deny it, has realized that there is just too much evidence of the crime they have committed, along with Ms. Mahua Moitra, for them to put out a denial, and therefore, in an act of corporate self-preservation, realizing this matter is going to go to the courts, as well as before the Parliamentary Privilege Committee, are doing this to save themselves from getting into further quicksand. So that is a very real possibility, Mr. Rahman, and I really do hope that you're not blind to the possibility of this being a case of terrible corruption by your Member of Parliament. And the other thing is, Mr. Rahman, in the past, as you know, you have yourself, Mr. Rahman, to assume that anyone from your party is not corrupt is a very big assumption in which you've been proven wrong in other cases before, like Mr. Partha Chatterjee. You've had to distance yourself from these people later. So maybe you should tread carefully. Maybe she's done this. I'm not saying Mamta Banerjee knows, but maybe she did it without informing this panel.
Exactly. The point
is... So you're making it a party issue where it probably isn't.
Mr. Rahman, you are not making an allowance for the fact.
Let me
Okay.
Arnab, there was a time when even Amit Shah was charged with several incidents, right? But he came out clean. So let's wait for everything, Arnab. It's as simple as that. You were standing on a neutral ground. But
now you're changing your
belated acceptance of... belated
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying these are
assumptions. And you cannot start a media trial.
This is not...
Belated acceptance of Amit Shah.
I would have given your argument... a little bit more credence. However, but the point is, Harish Salve has just said, I do not know whether he has filed this affidavit. If he has, then it raises some serious questions that the Ethics Committee has to consider. The affidavit, however, raises more questions than it answers. No businessman does such favors without a quid pro quo. I suppose if he has filed this affidavit, he will be questioned by the Ethics Committee. So Harish Salve says here that he hopes that Mr. Hiranandani Jr., that's Darshan Hiranandani, is questioned by the Ethics Committee. So I think it's going to get more serious, Tausif, very, very serious. And if he says this before the Ethics Committee, nobody, not even Danish Ali, who's a member of the Ethics Committee, can save her.
If anything is there, the report must be
But I'm saying this, that
Tausif, evidence and assumption.
Tausif, I'm just saying to you, and maybe Tohin wants to respond to you, it's more appropriate. It's more appropriate.
No, I want one question.
It's more appropriate that Tohin responds to you, and before that, Abhishek will say something. Abhishek,
just one question. Are you making an allowance for the possibility, Tausif Rahman, that given the fact that Mamata Banerjee has had her pictures with Gautam Adani, Bengal government has had Adani group projects, it's possible that Mahua Moitra actually went rogue and she went
wrong. I think you're being very indulgent on her. She's not gone wrong. She's done this very
rogue, gone rogue vis-a-vis TMC, and she has.
I think what comes across is that in this statement, Tausif, it's very clear. It's not that Trinamool Congress has asked her to do it, but I think by you're implicating yourself by coming out too strongly in her defense.
That's what I was saying. I mean, possibly Mamata Banerjee
you are
won't
attaching
approve of
yourself
this.
to close. You're taking it to a point where Tausif, tomorrow you won't be able to distance yourself from her. No, but I'm sorry, but you are not even, have you even read the affidavit? I have it in my hand, you've not even read it, you're taking a position on it. Have you read the affidavit?
Some stories.
Have you read the signed affidavit? It's an affidavit, not a story. Affidavit.
That's what I'm saying.
Now the straight
TMC itself knows that the whole issue is indefensible. Arnab, TMC itself knows that the whole issue is indefensible. Look at the callous and the casual manner in which Tausif is speaking. Number one, he's confusing between a video and an affidavit. Is he privy to a video which we don't know yet? Is he privy to a video which we are not aware of? That is the question. Is he privy to a video of Mahua Moitra which we are not yet aware of? Number two, you are a lawyer yourself, you would know the legal repercussions of an affidavit of this nature. You are a lawyer yourself, you would know the legal repercussions. So whatever TMC anyways, no problems with TMC.
I'm not a lawyer.
I'm sure you know the way you're speaking. Maybe that my bad. But you know the problem is TMC
what's clear here,
a very ignorant party. You would be aware of the legal repercussions of an affidavit of this nature. An affidavit of this nature has its own legal repercussions. Nobody can lie in this manner with an affidavit like this.
Tausif,
can I ask a question, please?
Yes, Arnab.
Yeah, Tausif, I want to tell you, Tausif, you see, Mr. Darshan Hiranandani and the Hiranandani group has thrown Mahua Moitra under the bus because they have corporate interests to defend. I am not understanding, Tausif, why the Trinamool is supporting her. Was she working on the Trinamool behest while doing this, if she's done this?
No, see, it's the same thing.
I don't think I have him on the line. Was she working on Trinamool behest?
No, Arnab, you are going somewhere else. I know where you want to go, but I don't want to go that path. I mean, when you want to defend, not you or your families want to defame an MP who belongs to TMC, so indirectly you want to malign the image of TMC. So this is my part when I know such assumptions which have no credential, right? I mean, there's an affidavit where Abhishek is saying, Tuhin is saying, it's all right. It's all right. They should be happy with those affidavits. They should be happy with those assumptions and imaginary poems from Shakespeare. But the thing is that it stands nowhere. If anyone comes up and says that we have some proof that I have given gifts and she stood inside the parliament, and I mean ridiculous. What kind of debate we are doing even? I mean, if something is right, it's right. Something is wrong, it's wrong.
May I ask you
why are you doing a media trial? Yeah. Mahua Moitra, just because she speaks loud against the Narendra Modi government. So that is the problem, right? Derek O'Brien speaks about Narendra Modi. So that is the problem.
You don't even know what this. I don't think if Derek O'Brien had done this, you would have been supporting him.
There are a lot of people.
No, you speak sense, whether you speak loudly or you speak softly doesn't matter. You have to be honest, you have to have a basic level of integrity as a member of parliament. That is the point over here.
Yeah, like Sadhvi Pragya.
Which unfortunately she did not have.
Like whom? Where BJP 56%.
Where is the comparison? You produce a similar affidavit against Sadhvi Pragya.
What is this?
Right?
Where is the equivalence?
Right?
Where is the equivalence?
Like
Please be
right?
logical. Please be logical.
Where is illogical thing? You are targeting someone and
this
giving
seems
you
to be a personal fan club of Mahua Moitra. This is clearly TMC has not officially defended Mahua Moitra. So on your show, probably you have a personal fan club of Mahua Moitra. That's all I can say.
This is becoming very big. We are told that Suvendu Adhikari is also reacting to this. Viewers, the nature of this allegation that we are witnessing here tonight and the confessional statement of Mr. Darshan Hiranandani, who in order to obviously protect himself, has thrown Mahua Moitra under a bus by revealing what was going on between both of them as part of this nefarious, alleged nefarious corporate political conspiracy to sort of use a person's parliamentary privilege to act for direct corporate interests and inducement through gifts and luxury items and etc. Ladies and gentlemen, if true, this really brings into question this whole tea party of so-called journalists, businessmen, foreign media, interested corporate houses, and this whole Target Modi campaign. And this whole Adani story takes on a completely and totally different spin. So I believe that if true, this adds credence to the argument that there was the lobby which was targeting Adani to target Modi, and Suvendu Adhikari, leader of the opposition in Bengal, is with us. Mr. Adhikari, this is Arnab here. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes. I am clearly hearing. Listen. Are you okay?
Thank you. Mr. Adhikari, you may have heard. I am very fine, Mr. Adhikari.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
Carefully listening.
Mr. Adhikari, can you give us your reaction to the confessional statement of Darshan Hiranandani?
It's a very big issue. The parliamentary committee is looking into this matter. We all the Bengal are eagerly waiting for the clear verdict of the parliament committee. We want it resolved as early as possible. Because TMC is a fully corrupted party. She is the part of this party and she always loudly attacked on the floor of the parliament against our honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Modi ji. This allegation is very
Mamta
serious.
Banerjee, who lost
the Bengal people want.
But Mamta Banerjee is still supporting her, Mr. Adhikari.
Issue as early as possible. Tell me.
But Miss Mamta Banerjee is still supporting her, Mr. Adhikari. Miss Mamta Banerjee is still supporting her. Why is she supporting her?
She is the queen pin of the all corruption. The TMC party, the party is functioning. There is the main agenda of the party to earn money, to collect money. She is the.
Is this a big issue for you in Bengal? Or is this an issue only in Delhi in your view? Is this going to be a big political issue in Bengal?
Yes. Bengal, not only Krishnanagar, entire Bengal is eagerly waiting for the judgment of the Parliamentary Standing Committee. Honorable Speaker should intervene and we want results as early as possible.
Yes. Well, thank you, Mr. Adhikari, for joining us. Thank you. That is Suvendu Adhikari, leader of the opposition in Bengal. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a very interesting breaking news edition of the debate on the Mahua Moitra scandal. Many of you are telling us to call it the Mahua Moitra scam. And I would only say that if true, this is even bigger than the Radia tapes. Thank you for watching tonight. And once again at the end, I shall leave you with the cricket anthem, Let's Do It Tibara, brought to you by the Poonawalla FinCorp Group.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
1 kilometer away from the Gaza city. We have been hearing continuously an explosion. It was a missile from the airstrike from the south. We have been seeing right now rockets that was fired from Hamas has been intercepted by Israeli forces.
What we hear now.
So there is an alert. There is an alert which has been given by, as you can hear, there are explosion which is been underway, and we have been reporting from Kibbutz Be'eri. As we can see, the confidence about the Israeli forces has it, and they are on their way. We are just walking with the tanks of Israel that is moving towards Gaza.